Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. So it is August. Wow, I can't believe it's August, but it's time for a new everyday makeup drawer. So we're going to start with a quick recap before I go in and pick out some new products. Let's start with this first drawer right here. So I do have one of the Say Glowy Super Gels. This is a little, well, if I can get into focus here. This is one of the little points perks from Sephora. This is just like a very teeny sample size. I did have minis of both Rose Glow and Warm Glow in here. I did get complete empties back in July, so this is the only one I have, and I did not use this one at all this past month because I was so close to getting an empty on them that I never did end up using this one, but I am going to be taking that one out simply because I do need to focus on some other primers now that I have emptied 2 of them. And then this is the Merit Brow Gel. It's not tinted enough for me. I do have to pair it up with a pencil, which I also have the Kosas Brow Pop pencil that was in my last month's everyday makeup drawer, but it's not in here currently because I just finished using it, so it's still sitting over there on my table. But I'm going to leave that and possibly this in here because I am really trying to get an empty on that brow pencil. I'm so close to having an empty and I want to keep using it till it's gone. I much prefer tinted brow gels, like a one and done brow step, so that's why I'm going to keep that in here. Then I had the Wet n Wild and Karomi setting powder, which is like a lilac-y powder, and then I had the Say powder. Now, this one right here from Say. This is the Slip Tint Undetectable Baked Setting Powder, and this one is in Translucent 1. This is a powder that I mentioned in the previous month that I really wanted to get some final thoughts on this because I feel like it's one powder in my collection that I go back and forth on. Now, I do like it, but if you're familiar with like the Hourglass finishing powders, how they kind of add that smoothness but they're very glowy, this is like similar to that. I'm not saying they're dupes by any means, but it's kind of that similar. Even though they claim it's a setting powder, I feel like it works better as a finishing powder. So if you like more of a glowier, smooth finishing powder, you might would really enjoy this. But I do like it, so I am going to be keeping it in my collection, but I wanted to give that little update. But I am going to be removing it for this month because I want to go through some more powders. Okay, and then over here I had the Merit, the Uniform Skin Tint, the CoverGirl Blurring Skin Tint, a Cali Ray Corrector, the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer, and the NYX Wonder Snatch. Now, I am going to be removing all of these from my drawers here. Now, I will say that a little update on this one because I mentioned last month that I might possibly, declutter this one. I do really like it when I mix in a very, very glowy primer, so I am going to be holding on to it because I really like the way it looked when I would mix it with my Say primer. On its own, it's not my favorite because it's too matte for me. It was my mistake. I bought it without paying attention that it does have a matte finish, but if you really like the idea of a matte skin tint, you would really enjoy this one. But if you're like me and you like more glow, if you do try this one, I would definitely say add a lot of glowy products to it to kind of make it look a little bit more hydrated, but I am going to be taking all of these products out for this month. Okay, and then in this drawer right here, I keep all of my mascaras, liners, and stuff like that, so that just stays the same all the time. And then over here, I had quite a few products because this has probably become one of my most favorite categories. I had the ABH Contour Stick, I had a Kosas Blush Stick, the Iris and Romeo Cream Blush, a Tower 28 Powder Blush, the new Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer, 2 shades of the Summer Fridays Blush, and then their bronzer, and then one of these, what are these called? The Jelly Jar products from Makeup by Mario. I'm going to take all of these out, minus this one right here from Iris and Romeo. This is my top favorite. I like to leave this one in here full time, but the rest are going to be removed. But every single one of these in here, including this one, are amazing products. I love all of these. Okay, I had a ton of lip products over here. Like, I just keep my liners in here full time, but I had a Milani gloss, a ColourPop gloss, one of the Lights lacquer glosses, which I did recently get an empty on one of these, and there are 2 more in my collection. I had a Fenty Beauty gloss. I had a Say lip oil. There's another shade of the Lights lacquer. I had a Ola Henriksen lip treatment, a NYX Butter Gloss, and the rest of these are all of my lip liners. I just leave them really in here full time because I just like to rotate everybody around. Because I just like to be able to have them all right here for me to grab and then just rotate like the lip gloss or lipstick or lip oil or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to just leave these in here for full time. And then on this last drawer here, I have a bunch of eyeshadow sticks, single eyeshadows. That just stays the same every month. I just leave them in there and just rotate them around. So that's all for the recap, so let's pick out some new products. Okay, so we are in my top drawer, which this drawer is a mess. Not so much, I guess, in this area as much as back this way with the powders, the bronzers. They are just thrown everywhere. I have not reorganized at all. Now, I do have in this little section right here, that's where I keep my brow products. I am going to be using, like I said in the recap, the Kosas Brow Pot Pencil and the Merit Brow Gel for right now. I am desperate to get an empty on that brow pencil. It's not that it's bad, it's just I want to only have a one and done brow step like a tinted brow gel, so I'm just trying to get an empty on it. So right over here, I know it's hard to tell, I can't get my camera angled that well. I have all of my primers. So for primer, I want to first use this one right here from Smashbox. This is the original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. They did send this one to me PR a while back, and I feel like I haven't used it in a long time. So I definitely want to get some good use out of this one. So we're going to be including this one first. But I'm also wanting to include this one right here. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is a mini size in the shade One Fair. I have used this maybe once or twice before, but I didn't get enough use out of it. So I'd like to try it again. I really want to try it again to kind of see how I feel about it, because I think the first time I used it, I applied too much of it and didn't really have a good experience. So I want to continue using this one. So I'm going to be including this as a primer as well. Now, right in here are foundations, and then I have some sitting in here that are also like overflow from where some didn't fit. So I think first I'm going to use this one right here from Iris and Romeo. This is their Weekend Skin SPF, and this one's in Cool Glow. They only have, I think, like 4 shades of this, but it's meant to be more of like a sunscreen with a tint more than it is an actual foundation product, but I do really enjoy it. I do wish they would add a few more shades, because this is the lightest shade, and sometimes depending on the amount I apply, it can be a little bit too deep for me, but the product itself is really, really nice. I do really enjoy this, so I am going to be including it. And I do want to add in, because that is not so much of an actual foundation, it does have a tint, but you know what I mean. I am going to pick one more product, and let's see, who do I want to use? Why don't we go in with, I don't know who I haven't used in a while. I feel like I haven't used this one from Versed in a while. So this is the Versed Skin Solution Multi-Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. Mine is in the shade 2N. It does have a little pump on it. I do like this color packaging, that pretty green. That's just a really lovely shade of green, just pleasant to look at. I have always really enjoyed this product, so I want to use this one again. I feel like it has been a while since I've used it, so let's include this one for this month. Now, right here are where I keep all of my correctors and concealers, and I'm going to tell you, the only one that I want to use is sitting right there on top. That Ilia one, that's the only thing that I want to use. I just cannot pull myself away from that, but I'm going to try. So, because I always like to pair the Versed concealer with the Versed skin tint, so I see that one sitting right here on top. And this is the Skin Solution Serum Concealer, also in the shade 2N. This is a lovely concealer. I have also worn this as a foundation. It's really pretty that way on the skin as well. So let's include this one. I just like to, if I have a matching concealer with a matching foundation or skin tint, then I like to pair them up, and I'm going to be including this one. Now, for the next concealer, I'm going to use this one right here on top from Charlotte Tilbury. I think this is another one that I have not gotten a lot of use out of. This is the Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. Mine is in 2.5 Fair. I do remember this being really lovely. I want to say that I did try this out as a foundation as well and had a good experience with it, but I want to make sure about that claim. I definitely would have to either go back and find the footage or just wear it like that again, which I hopefully will plan to do so this month, but I just want to get some good use out of it. I remember it being really good. Yeah, I think so. We'll use it again and get my final thoughts for sure, so I'm going to be including this one. Okay, I don't know if I want to include a corrector shade or not. I might just leave it at these two. Well, you know what? No. Let's grab this one right here on top. I love this one right here from Sarah Creel. This is the Face Flex Correct, and this one is in the shade K-By. I really do like this corrector. It is beautiful on the skin. I also really love her concealer. Really lovely, beautiful, lightweight formula. So yeah, let's include this one for a corrector. I try to include a corrector and a concealer, so let's not change that up for this month. Okay, and if you can see the absolute chaos of whatever is going on here, I am ashamed of this, but here we are. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I went a little bit overboard with bronzers and powders, so here they all sit. Now, the first one that I want to use is new to me, but that packaging, it's definitely not going to fit in my acrylic drawers that I have. I'm going to have to just place it on top. But it's this one right here from Too Faced. This is their new Peach Perfector Loose Setting Powder, and this one is in Peachy Pink. This is new to me. I just recently picked this up, and it does have that like kind of ball at the center here that you just apply your brush to and get the powder. I did like it the first couple of times I've used it, but I feel like I haven't really given it a full chance. So, oh, it actually, let me open that back up and let me smell. Oh, I really do love the scent of it. It smells really nice, like a really nice, pleasant peach scent. So I am going to be including this one to get some more final thoughts, but yeah, this really giant tub is not going to fit, so I'll just have to place it on top, but it is really super cute. Now, I usually go in with a loose and a pressed powder, so who do I want to use for pressed? Let's use this one right here from Rare Beauty. Now this is actually a finishing powder. Yes, this is the Tinted Pressed Finishing Powder. And this one is in the shade, what shade? Porcelain, which it's supposed to be a finishing powder. It's not really meant to be a setting powder, but I still want to include it and get some good use out of it. Maybe I can apply the Too Faced one and then apply this a little bit over the top if need be. So I'm going to be including this one. Okay, bronzers, that is a nightmare. Look at that back there. I mean, that is a nightmare. I am ashamed. I mean, apparently I'm not, though, since I am showing you this full on what it looks like. So I must not be that ashamed now, am I? Okay, so I've been using a lot of creams, but I need to use some of my powder bronzers. But I do want to also include cream bronzer. Okay, so I think the first one I'm going to include is this one right here in this pretty blue packaging. This one is from Westman Atelier. This is their Sun Tone Bronzing Creme, and this is Soleil Parfait 1. This is lovely. This is like a very moussey kind of texture. It's not like a very balmy bronzer. It's much more of a thicker consistency. Now, I don't mean thick in a bad way. I just mean like that moussey texture. This is stunning. I know this is expensive. I think this is like $75. I know that is a kind of an ouch, but it is really beautiful on the skin. And I feel like I haven't gotten as much use out of this one as I have some of my more balmy bronzers. So let's include this one. I love this packaging. This blue is absolutely stunning. So let's include this one. Okay, now I'd like to include a powder because I feel like I am neglecting the powder bronzers. I just don't want to use them because I just really love my cream ones. But we need to expand here a little bit. And I think I'm going to use, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see it a little bit right back here. It's the Charlotte Tilbury one. So let me grab that, and probably going to cause a little bronzer avalanche. Okay, not too bad, but we have this huge compact. This is the Airbrush Bronzer in the shade 1 Fair. I do think this is an absolutely lovely bronzer, and I do like that you can pop out the pan and just repurchase a refill. You don't have to buy the compact again. This is very pretty. It's one of those that I feel like I can't go overboard with it. It's just a really nice, lightweight, soft bronzer. So let's include this one. I also do really like the pretty packaging here. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do. I did at first, yes, initially say that I wanted to include more bronzers. I don't need to do that, but maybe this time I do need to pick a highlighter because I never do. And the ones I have just sit here. So let me move a few of these bronzers out the way and see what I have. Okay, let's use this one right here from Revolution. This is their Bouncy Glow Putty Highlighter, and this one is in the shade Dawn. This is a really lovely highlighter. I do want to get some more good use out of it. I just think it's so stunning to look at. So let me give you a little swatch, why don't we? It's very pretty. It's just something about it. Look how pretty that is. It's really stunning on the skin. I do really like it. So I'm going to be including this one for highlighter. Okay, so that's everything here. Let's move down to the lower drawer where I keep all of the lip products. Okay, so here are all of my lip products. Slightly more organized than the bronzers are, I will fully admit. Now, as far as the lip liners, these right here are some that I have that are more of like the gel. I just don't use them as much as I do the other ones that I have, so I'm just going to leave that be. I'm not going to grab any more from that. And these right here are all of my lip balms and lip oils, that kind of thing. So let's see, who do I want to use? Well, you know what? I am using a lot of Charlotte Tilbury, and I see one of her lip balm things here, so let me grab that. Okay, this is the Unreal Lips Healthy Glow Nectar Oil, and this one is in Strawberry Vanilla. Now, this is just like a clear. This does not have, oh gosh, can't get it open. There we go. It does not have any like real pigment to it. It's just like a pinky clear shade, so I'm not going to swatch it, but it is a really lovely formula. I do remember this one being more on the thin side, like more lightweight on the lips, not like a very thick, heavy formula, so we will see. We'll definitely try this one out, but I like the pink packaging. I'm just a sucker for pink packaging, so I'm going to include this one. Why don't we use one of these I have from, I don't know if you can see them lying down right there with the little cats. Let me grab one of those. They're from LA Colors. Okay, well actually they're lip glosses. I thought they were lip oils or lip balms, but it's actually like a lip gloss. This is the Blueberry Scented Lip Gloss. I will be honest, I think the last time I used this, it smells more like grape than it does blueberry, but it's a clear. It does not have any kind of pigment to it whatsoever. It is just a straight up clear, so I won't worry about giving you a swatch. I don't know if you can find these anymore anyway, because this was part of a limited edition collection that LA Colors had with cute little cats, so I don't know if you can buy it, but it was just a clear, but I do like the scent of it. I do like the scent of grape. I don't know, there's something about it I like, so I'm going to be including this one. I am definitely more of a fan of like lip balms and lip oils these days than I am anything else. I do really love lip glosses as well, but I just like to wear a lip liner and then like a lip balm over the top. I like that. It's just much more, I don't know, it just feels nice on the lips, nice and comfy. So let's see, do I want any more lip oils or anything, or am I just going to call it? Actually, you know what? No, here's one more I want to grab, and I don't know if you can tell. I think it's this little white cap right there. This is a lip oil from Wet n Wild, and I think it's just called lip oil, but this one is in the shade Fuzzy Pillow. Let me give you a swatch of this one. I think this one has a little bit of a tint to it, but I think it's mostly clear on the lips, which I'm not mad about that. I like the lip liner to be the focal point anyway, so you can see it just a little swatch right there of that. Let's include this one. I haven't used this one in a while. I also have another shade of this that's like a deeper tone, and that one's really, really pretty too. It's quite a nice formula, so let's include this one. Okay, and then here's where I keep lipsticks, and then this right here and a little bit over here are lip glosses. So let me pick maybe a few lip glosses to go through. Okay, you know, let's start with this one right here from Rare Beauty. This is the, okay, I don't know the full name of this. On the bottom it just has lip gloss, but this one is in the shade Flicker. It's very, very pretty. I'm going to give you a little swatch. It's like a pinky shade. And it does have some pretty little sparkles in it. I think it's really, really lovely. I don't think I've worn this one in a while, so let's include this one. Okay, and let's pick this one as well from, if it would focus, come on, from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Big Lip Plumpgasm, and this one is in the shade Nudegasm Diamonds. Now this is a plumper, so I'm going to give a quick swatch. Oh, I have glitter all over the back of my hand where that Rare Beauty gloss was, but this also has sparkle in it, so it'll be okay. But that's what that looks like right there. It's very, very pretty. It is a plumper, so I'm going to wipe it off right quick, but I just wanted you to see how stunning this is. But I don't think this is a very intense plumper, not like the Too Faced ones, but I do want to go ahead and wipe it off my skin. But I really like these, so I don't know if this shade is still available or not. I know there were a few shades that were limited edition, and then she brought some back, so I'm not sure if this one's still available or not, but I'm going to be including this one. I feel like I gave myself too many lip options last time, and then I didn't use them. So I've picked out 5 thus far. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Last month, I felt like I picked too many. I had too many options. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I had the same amount, but it just felt like a lot. So I'm going to stop right there. I think 5 is a good starting point. They're the types of formulas I love. That right there is lipsticks. I just don't really want lipsticks right now. I do like them, but I'm much more into a liner with a gloss or a lip balm or a lip oil right now. I don't really want to use the lipsticks, even though I need to. I need to use my lipsticks more. But for now, I'm going to leave it here, and we're going to move over to where I keep my blushes. Okay, so here are all the powder blushes that I have, and I don't know who I want to pick. I need to pick some that maybe I haven't used in a while. I feel like that might be most of my powder blushes because I've been really loving creams more than anything else. So I need to pick some that I definitely have not used in a while. What about these two from Ulta? These are the Flushed Blush powder blushes, and I have the shades Cotton Candy and Flamingo. Let me swatch both of these first. So we have Cotton Candy first. If the lighting is a little dark over here, I do apologize for that, but usually when I get to this portion of my videos in this particular category, my ring light can wash out my blushes pretty badly, so I've tried to angle it kind of away. So hopefully this is light enough for you to see. If it's not, I do apologize, and I will try to fix it for the next video. But this one is, what did I say this one was? Cotton Candy. Is what this looks like. Pretty. Okay. I'm going to include that one. I think that one's really pretty, and I know I haven't used this one in a while. And then we have Flamingo, which, okay, on camera, I don't know if it'll show. This one is a lot lighter than that. I'm hoping you can pick that up on here. Both of them have like a sheen to them, but Flamingo actually looks like it has some shimmer in it, like very light shimmer, at least in the swatch. So that is those two shades. I'm going to include both of those, but yeah, this shade, hopefully, maybe you can see right there. Yeah, there's a better angle. This one is a lot lighter than this one, but they're in like a very similar color kind of family, like blush tone family. So I'm going to be including both of them because I think they're different enough. They might not look that different on the cheeks. We shall see. Okay, I do apologize for this very odd angle. I am so sorry. These are all my cream and liquid blushes. Oh, and then I have some blush palettes and stuff over here. I don't typically use those, I will admit to that. They're kind of become collector's things more than they have anything else. But let me see, I do want maybe one liquid blush and one cream. And I think for the cream, I'm going to go with this one back here from Natasha Denona. This is the High Blush Cloudy Cream Cheek Duo in Nude Muse. There is that packaging. And here are the two shades. This, I think, is much more of a highlighter shade than a blush, but I'm going to swatch them. It's been a long time since I've used this duo, so that's why I want to include it. But let me give you a swatch of both of these. Okay, so there is a swatch of these two. This is definitely much more of like a blush lighter shade, but very, very pretty tones. So I definitely want to include this duo because it has been a while since I've used this duo, and I don't know, maybe I've only used this maybe twice. So let's get some good use out of this one. Okay, now I need a liquid blush, so I'm unsure of who I want for a liquid blush. I don't know who I want to use. I don't really have that many liquid blushes, I feel like. I definitely have more creams than liquids. How about we use this one right here? This one is from Billion Dollar Beauty. This is their liquid blush in the shade Fling. They did send this one to me, and I have not used this one in a while. Let me get a swatch. Okay, so that is what that shade looks like. Very pretty. I feel like I'm definitely in the same color family here, but most of my blushes are going to be in that pinky, peachy kind of category because those tend to be my favorites. But you know what? It's okay. At least I have some different textures here. We have powders, we have creams, we have a liquid. So I'm just going to stop here. I don't want to give myself too many options. I felt like the last couple of months I've had too many options, and it's kind of messed me up a little bit because I'm not giving everybody fair use because I have too many options. So let's stop there, and I'm going to put all of these products back. Okay, I am wondering if I can combine these two primers. I don't know if they would interfere with each other. This is the Smashbox, the original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer, which this one was sent to me. And then I have the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in the shade One Fair, which this is a mini size. I might try to use both because I have not used either of them in a long time. So I'm first going to take the Smashbox one, which I always did think this is a nice primer. It does kind of look like, you know, almost like a silicone-y. And I'm just going to place this one on the T-zone area, like right in here. And then I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury one, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of that on like this outer part here. The last time I used way too much of this, but I was trying to use it a little bit more like foundation, and that just did not really work. It was, I don't know, something went wrong. I don't remember what it was, but I think that was the last time that I even wore it. I don't think it interfered. I do have some redness right in there. I might have to put some concealer over that because the skin tint that I'm about to go in with, well, if you can call it that, it's really not actually meant to be like a foundation, I don't believe. I might have to go in with concealer, but I don't see it interfering with anything, so that's good. So the next thing I'm going in with is the Iris and Romeo Weekend Skin SPF 50, and this is in the shade Cool Glow. This only has 4 shades, but it's not really meant to be a foundation or anything. It's more so like a sunscreen. Now I already have a sunscreen on, so I'm just using this for the little bit of tint. This is the shade Cool Glow. I do wish that they would add a few more shades though, because I find that this one is a little bit too deep for me. Even though it's not meant to really provide much coverage, it is a little bit too deep. So I would love for them to expand, especially because this seems to be quite a popular product, but it is really nice and lightweight. I do love the product. I just would love to see them add more shades to this, regardless of whether or not it's meant to be an actual skin tint or not. And I'm just going to take a Makeup by Mario F4L. This is from that travel size brush kit he has, or mini brush kit, whichever you want to call it, which I believe it's only still available on his website. I don't believe you can get it at Sephora anymore. You could at one point, but I think it's now sold out there. Now, redness is still going to poke through because this does not offer a lot of coverage, but that tint is enough to really, it does add a tint to my skin, but it's not going to like cover much of anything. But the actual product itself is really, really lovely. I do enjoy it. Okay, for corrector, I'm going in with the Sarah Creel Face Flex Correct, and this one is in the shade K-By. I'm going to take a little bit of that on the under eye area, just a dot on both sides. And then I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer, and this one is in the shade 2.5 Fair. So I'm going to take a little bit of that also on the under eyes and in kind of some spaces where I have a little bit of redness. I don't want too much on the under eye area though. I'm going to add, you know, a little dot here and maybe out here. I have more redness on this side, but we'll add it on both sides here. And I'm just going to blend these two out on my under eyes with my finger. That shade might be a little brightening, so I'm going to try to take it down a little bit so it's not just a semicircle on my under eye. I really love that corrector though. That is a good corrector. Now, it's been a while since I've used the concealer, so I don't have like fresh opinion on that one just yet. I know I remember liking it when I first tried it, but it has been a while since I've used it, so I'm hoping for the best. I didn't apply too much of it though. I don't want a lot on my under eyes because it will crease more. Now, that's not really a test of the concealer. I just have fine lines on my under eyes, and the more I apply, the more it is going to crease. And then I'm going to take this brush and really press over that, and then kind of take my finger around the edges, just to add a little something there because of that redness that was poking through. Kind of initially start with the brush, and then I go back in with my finger to kind of go around that. Okay, because I added a little too much, you can really see the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of blend a little bit more in this area with the brush, not just my finger, because you can see the difference between where that concealer and that Iris and Romeo product are. Also, the undertones are different. The Charlotte Tilbury is the correct undertone. The Iris and Romeo product is a cool undertone, so it's not really that great for me. So maybe I kind of made that blend a little bit better into each other, but maybe once I put like blush and bronzer, you won't be able to tell. But it was noticeable initially. You know, I might have to start going in with that Iris and Romeo product as a base for other products because that concealer actually looks really nice over the top. So that might be a way I can use it too. Okay, next I'm going to take this Revolution Bouncy Glow Putty Highlighter. This one is in the shade Dawn. I'm first going to take that on my finger and press that right in here. I like to go in with highlighter first underneath like blush and bronzer. Then I'm going to go into this Perfector brush from Versed and just kind of lightly tap over that. Because it's that texture, it does apply better with your finger, but I do like to go over it with a brush to really smooth it out. Of course, I didn't really need highlighter because I do have quite a lot of glow going on. Okay, the packaging has already broken on that. Now it won't close now. That piece just broke off. I hope that doesn't make the highlighter dry out, but it might. Next, I'm going to go into the Westman Atelier Sun Tone Bronzing Creme. This is in Soleil Parfait 1. And let's see, I'm going to go into this deeper side using that same Mario brush. And we're going to press that in on the forehead. I'm just picking up small amounts each time. I know one time before I went in with a little too much of this and it was quite pigmented, or it was more pigmented than I thought it would be, so I'm trying to keep it a little bit more subtle and kind of go over the brow area as well. Okay, and using the same brush, I am now going to go into the lighter of the two. This one has a little bit more slightly reddish undertone compared to the other one, so I like to apply this one on the cheeks almost like a bronzer. And this shade I'm also going to go over the lids with as well. Westman Atelier has absolutely gorgeous products. I know they're at a very high price point, but they are very beautiful. Everything I've tried is stunning. Now for blush, and I think I'm also, after I apply all the cream and liquid steps, I think I'm going to set with powder and then go over the top with some powder blush and powder bronzer that I have. I don't know yet. We'll see how this looks. I'm first going to go into this Billion Dollar Beauty liquid blush. This one is in the shade Fling. They did send this to me, and it's been a while since I've used it, so why don't we give this one a shot again. I do remember liking it. I'm going to put a little bit here on the back of my hand, like so. I don't remember how pigmented this is. I want to say it was pigmented. And we'll take that same Versed brush. I love this brush because it's kind of small and a little bit fluffy, so I feel like it really diffuses out cream and liquid blushes nicely to where I'm not going overboard because I don't want to go in with too much too soon. I'd rather start at like a more subtle level and then build up if I want. Now that's pretty because it's soft. I didn't pick up too much of it though anyway. It's just a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I really press that brush like this. By the way, I do have a code with Billion Dollar Beauty if you are ever interested in shopping their site. It's jessicadeerly20. You can get 20% off. I think it still works. I don't know. But and you don't have to use my code. You don't even have to shop if you're not looking to shop. I just meant that if you are going to buy from them, definitely see if you can find somebody's discount code. You don't have to use mine, just use somebody's, because don't pay full price. Don't do that. I mean, you can do what you want, obviously. But for anybody who loves to look for deals, I am going to take what's left. I'm not adding anything else to this brush. I'm just going across the nose a little bit with it because I'm about to go into this area with some powder anyway, but I just like the idea of it. I think it's super cute. Also, I did put a little bit of concealer on my nose a while ago, and I felt like it made my nose look a little dry. I feel like that is one area that stays fairly dry, so maybe the blush will kind of cover that up some. I know with my ring light, it does look a little bit more subtle on camera, or from what I can see in my little viewfinder up there, but in person, you can see it a lot more. It is a very pretty shade. It's very pretty. Alright, now I'm going to take some powder. I'm going to take the Too Faced Peach Perfector Loose Setting Powder in Peachy Pink. This packaging is really bulky, but something about it is cute. I love the scent of this powder. It smells really nice. So I'm going to take the smaller side of this brush from Versed and pick up some powder. Make sure I don't have any creases. And press this on the under eye area here. And I'm going to just use this in my T-zone. Not taking it on the lid because I am going to go into some eyeshadow sticks. So I don't want any powder on the lid. Okay, and for the brows, I'm just going to use this Kosas Brow Pop Pencil in dark brown. And then I'm going to take the Merit 1980 Brow Gel, which is in the shade dark brown. Got that done. So now I'm going to go over to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer, and this one is in the shade 1 Fair. I have not used a powder bronzer, I feel like, in a while. I'm going to take this large powder brush. I want to say blush every single time. This large powder brush from Rare Beauty. I'm just going to lightly dust this over the top of that Westman Atelier product, just very lightly. I don't want a ton because I felt like I already had enough for what I like, so I'm just adding this a little bit in just to get some use on this. I need to start using my powders more, but I'm really more so into creams now than I am anything else. Liquid products are fine, like liquid blushes and liquid bronzers. Those are nice too, but I really love cream blush, cream bronzer. That's kind of like my favorite, so I just haven't been using much powder lately. And then for the blush, I'm using the Ulta Beauty Collection Flushed Blush, and this one is in the shade Flamingo. It's a really pretty shade. This does have like a sheen to it, and this one seems to have like little teeny tiny sparkle flecks. So I don't know if they still make these. I know this Ulta Beauty stuff, I know a lot of times I feel like they redo their line a lot and change packaging, so I'm not sure if these blushes are still available or not. Of course, I will have a look and list and link anything for you below. I'm trying to wipe this brush off from Versed. I like this brush for blush, no matter if it's powder, cream, or liquid. I want to make sure there was no more liquid on it. Yeah, I think I'm good. So I'm going to use this fluffy side, and we're going to go into this. Really want to pick some up and then tap it into that cap. Yeah, I feel like it adds something. This was really kind of light in a swatch, so I don't know how much pigment it would have, and I did have a blush underneath it already, so it might not be the best test of this. But no, I think I can, yeah, see it over the top. So I've wiped this large brush off, and I'm just going to kind of go over that a little bit. There is nothing else on this brush, and I did wipe it off, so hopefully there's nothing else being added. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. This side's always more pigmented, but I also have redness in this area that no matter what will always poke through. So this side always looks heavier with blush and bronzer, but I do think it's mostly the redness poking through my skin. So for eyeshadow, I'm first going to start out with the Ilia Eye Stylish Shadow Stick. This one is in the shade Adorn. I have not had a chance to wear this one by itself yet. I've only ever paired it with Vignette, which is their more soft green mint kind of shade, so I want to try this one by itself, and let's see. And then I have something I might press over the top of it. Alright. That is pretty. That's a pretty shade. I'm gonna kind of tap around that just a little bit. I can't get enough of these. I love them so much. And now Ilia has eyeliners they just recently released, and I want to try them. I have one of the shimmer or metallic, I don't know what if they're metallics or shimmer, same thing I guess. I have one of those in the cart, and then I have one of the matte ones in my cart as well, because I really want to try them out. They look so pretty. Oh, that's stunning. I loved everything about that. Alright, I'm going to take that same shade and go on the lower lash line. I've actually gotten a few of you onto these as well, because I've gotten a few comments from people telling me that they bought them based off of my recommendation and love them. That makes me so happy. I'm so glad that you are enjoying them too. I really, really love them. I'm trying to buy all of them in this shimmer. I don't like the matte ones in these. The mattes were too drying for my eyelids, but the shimmer ones I absolutely love. I do like to mention that in case anybody's new, because I did not have a good time with the matte one. I had one matte shade and it was just so dry, but these I love. Now over the top of that, I'm going to take this from Ulta Beauty. This is the Bouncy Eyeshadow in the shade Buttercream. I think this is so pretty. So pretty. I'll take a little bit of that. This is definitely like a sparkly topper. I have worn it on its own, but I think it would be prettier over the top of something else. So we're just going to lightly press that over the top of the shade. It's very pretty. I'm hoping you can see a difference between this side and then just the eyeshadow stick over here. Because I know Adorn is a little bit more of a deeper shade. This is my favorite type of eye look to do. I love one of these eyeshadow sticks and then a really sparkly topper shade over the top. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the Ilia eyeshadow sticks by themselves, but this is one of my favorite things ever, to add like a pretty little sparkly topper. I love everything about that. That's so pretty. It's sparkly. Okay, I'm just going to curl my lashes and I'm going to apply the Gen C mascara in the black shade. If you watched my video that went up this past Friday, that's when I tested out all of these Gen C products. Also, the full name of that is the Spectator Sport Mascara. I didn't have the full name while I was applying it. But that is what that mascara looks like. Nothing on the other side, so you can see it. But if you watched my video that went up on Friday, that's when I reviewed several of their products. Okay, for the lip, by the way, if you watched the first part of this video where I was actually picking out the products, then you would have saw me right at the end add this from Rare Beauty. This is like their lip oil stick in the shade Muse. I did add that in at the end because I had forgotten to mention it in the actual part where I was picking out the products, but I think I want to wear that. And I wonder what it would look like paired up with this liner. This is from Lawless. This is the Forget the Filler Definer Liner in Honey Rose. This is a little bit of a deeper shade. I forgot to do some lip prep, so that's great. So I'm just going to line my lips with this. I'm not going to fill them in because I forgot to do lip prep, so they're dry. And then over the top, I'm going to place that Rare Beauty lip oil stick in Muse. I really like these from Rare Beauty. I would like to look at the other shades actually. Okay, that's a pretty lip. It's really pretty. But here is this completed makeup look. I really like it. I love the eyes. I think that is so, so, so pretty. Of course, I think all of those Ilia eyeshadow sticks are pretty, but I like this look. I love the lip with it. I think everything is really pretty, really lovely. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads, and follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly. All of these products will be listed and linked for you below, as well as in the YouTube shopping tag feature, and if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission, and if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!